What's up, guys? It's Royal. I have finally finished Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, a memoir by the creator of Nike. This probably has been one of the most interesting books that I have read for this year. Actually, this is the first book I read this year. From cover to cover, a couple of things that I really liked about this book is that Phil Knight told the story of how Nike came to be. From, you know, the book starts in like 1962, so this is even before my mom was born, and it goes all the way up to around 2007, 2008, year by year by year by year. Most of the book is about the years between 1972 and about 1978. Only a couple of the pages at the very end are about his recent achievements and that kind of thing, which I really like and I really appreciate it. With Shoe Dog, he talks about, first Nike was called Blue Ribbon, and he talks about how Blue Ribbon got started, the original founders, Bill Bowerman at the University of Oregon, and how that was Phil Knight's coach for track and field, and about how how Bill Bowerman started making all of the shoes as far as the soles and trying them out on the athletes to see how they liked and performed in the shoes or his creations. And Phil Knight kind of took the skills that Bill Bowerman had and really expanded on those and made Nike what it is to be to this day. This book was very enlightening, and just to be a big Nike fan like I am, I'm wearing a Nike hat right now. I wear the clothes, I wear the apparel, I buy the accessories, I have the bags, and not knowing where Nike began and where it started from, and now having a picture of it from this book really helped me to appreciate and understand the company and understand the brand a lot more than I originally thought. For anybody that is a Nike fan, if you are a Nike fan, you have to read this book, Shoe Dog, just so you can get an understanding about how Nike came to be who it is. I cannot say enough how big and how important this book is for anybody that reps Nike. If you rep Nike and you have not read this book, you are not a fan. You have to read this book if you are a fan of the Nike brand, if you are a fan of their products that they sell, because they sell amazing products. They sell great stuff for us to wear. It feels good, it looks good, and that's why everybody wears it, because Nike looks like the shit. You know what I mean? If you got Nikes on, you are the shit, and that's just how it is. Excuse my language. What else? The big takeaways that I would get from Shoe Dog by Phil Knight would be three things. One would be growth. Throughout the entire book, Phil Knight constantly was trying to make sure that his company was growing, whether it be Blue Ribbon in its infancy or when it eventually turned over and it became Nike. Every single year he wanted to focus on growth for the company. The growth in the company might have came from different ways. It might have came from revenue. It might have came from hiring more employees. It might have came from opening up another store. He was opening up stores across the country, and throughout the entire book he constantly said, like, I don't know how I'm going to afford to, for one, build this company, or to make this factory, or to furnish the factory with the equipment that it needed, or to hire and pay this person. Constantly he continued to say that in the book, and he found a way to do it. The second thing that I learned from this book was that Phil Knight did have his setbacks, and throughout all of his setbacks he consistently pushed and overcame those things and those setbacks. And I actually even highlighted something that he said in here, and I want to make sure I read it to you guys if I can find it. Something that he did say was grow or die. That's what I believed, no matter the situation. So that kind of goes along with the first one, growth. Talking about the setbacks, he said, fear of failure, I thought, would never be our downfall as a company. Not that any of us thought we wouldn't fail. In fact, we had every expectation that we would. But when we did fail, we had faith that we'd do it fast, learn from it, and be better for it. So he embraced failure because he knew that he would fail, but he wanted to make sure that he was steadfast, and when he did do it, that he would get past it and that he would push on. And he does talk about a lot of the some of the mistakes that he did having in building Nike, as well as some of the shortcomings. And this man was crazy. Phil Knight was crazy for some of the stuff he did, but now Nike's everywhere and everybody wears Nike. And if you are a Nike athlete, let's be honest, you are at the top of the line versus some of the other companies. One thing I wish the other companies would do what Phil Knight did and actually make a book and talk about how, you know, their brand came to be what it is. Phil Knight did it for Nike. I hope that some of the other apparel and shoe brands will do it, because that would be really cool for them to do it and for us to be able to understand about those other apparel companies. Number 3 is just do it. And I know that is Nike's slogan, that's Nike's words, you know, but anything that Phil Knight came upon, he just did it. And just do it. No matter if it was dealing with employees, if it was dealing with sending somebody from the East Coast to the West Coast, or from the West Coast to the East Coast, whether it was opening up another factory, whether it was dealing with the US government when he was doing that, he just did it. And he made sure that he did it quickly. He didn't waste time on contemplating on A and B and C. He just did it and he moved on from it. And I think for me, especially reading this book, that's the number one thing that I have to focus on from here on out, is just doing it. Forgetting about trying to make it super perfect, trying to make it pristine. If I do it, the perfection will get there as I do it more and more and more. And Phil Knight, I really appreciate you making this book and talking to us Nike heads and us shoe heads and all those people that represent your brand and love to wear it Nike and love to represent Nike. But definitely, like I said, reading this book from him, it makes me appreciate and understand Nike a lot more. The worst part about reading this book now is I've already been to the Nike campus, and he spoke about the Nike campus in the book. And if I was able to read the book before I went to the Nike campus, I would have appreciated being on the campus so much more, because he talks about the buildings, which he calls temples. He talks about the lake that's in the middle of the campus. He talks about all of these things, and I would have definitely appreciated being on that campus a lot more if I had read the book versus not reading the book and being on the campus. I think it was still an amazing time to be on the campus and to experience Nike from the inside out. But until next time. So all my I'm gonna call you Oregonians or Oregonians. If you guys see this video, shoot me a DM, shoot me something, and get me back out there so I can go check out that campus again. This was Shoe Dog, a memoir by the creator of Nike, by Phil Knight. Thank you everyone that has watched this video to this very end. I appreciate you guys. Again, if you are Nike fans, if you represent the brand, if you wear the apparel, this is definitely a book that you should read so that you can understand exactly who and how Nike came to be what it is to this day. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next video, love you guys.